I've been walking with the Lord since 2005. I was baptized and filled with the Holy Spirit a few months later, and I don't say that to boast. Just to give you some context of my journey of faith. Things seemed to be going very well. Blessings were flowing, and God was really gracious in our lives. We served in our local church, and we strived to live our lives in such a way that we believed was pleasing to God. However, as it usually goes, after a series of devastating events, job loss, which led to a new job, and constant rejection, friction from coworkers, and then finally rejection from and eventually the loss of my only son that I love very dearly. He didn't die physically, but he died spiritually. And trust me when I tell you, the grief is very deep and painful. In physical death, perhaps you can move on and let it go. I don't know. Only God knows. But to have him at arm's length made the pain go deeper and endure longer. I wish I could say that I fought the good fight of faith. But sadly, all of these misfortunes began to chip away at what the Lord had built in my heart. I thought, God, my kids would turn out fine. We even homeschooled. I thought if I prayed more, sought him out more in the Word, that this would produce the results I was desperate for, to no avail. And worst of all, I found myself slipping back into old ways of thinking, old habits that he had delivered me from, to soothe my grieving and shattered heart, going through endless cycles and patterns of war between my flesh and spirit, round and around the mountain over and over again. I felt lost, confused, and was even beginning to question who I was anymore. But God, there's always a but God. In His grace and mercy, He never stopped loving me. He gave me manna from His Word. He visited me in times of great sorrow and despair. He comforted me, encouraged me to keep going, never give up seeking Him for my answer. Never give up on God. Then out of the blue, after many years of crying out to the Lord, and at my lowest point, He visited me. It began on September 10th, but it was on September 11th that I got my breakthrough. I was on my way to North Carolina to deliver a load of lumber, and it seemed as though He filled the whole truck up with me in it. In His presence, all I could do was sob and thank Him. He began to speak to me about so many wonderful things I could have written a book. Then afterwards, He began to show me that I needed to let Him heal me. And I said, I'm healthy, Lord. What do you mean? And He said, your heart, it's wounded. In what way, I asked. Rejection. Can you show me, Lord? He took me back in time, in my spirit, all the way through my childhood. He walked me through many painful episodes of rejection throughout my life. And one in particular, a young boy, we were children, whom I considered a friend, decided to join the others who didn't like me very much. And betraying me, actually spit on me in front of them. And this was very painful. I went home after school in shock from the betrayal and the rejection of it. And I sat in the living room too embarrassed to tell anyone what had happened. My mother, who I found out years later had a relationship with the Lord, she could sense something was wrong. She comforted me. And then the Lord showed me that it was Him working through my mother. This caused such relief and joy in my soul to know that God was there for me in those painful times. Of course He was. Why didn't I realize this sooner? He was giving me hope and comforting me even then. After this, He caused scriptures to come alive in my heart as if I had had them memorized, which sadly I don't. I try. Jesus said that He would bring to our remembrance the things that He tells us. Isn't that amazing? He taught me how to release these inner wounds and to allow His love to remain. One by one, we went through my memories and my heart together, layer after layer. And then finally, to the grief over my son, Daniel. He did something very different there. He left the grief, only now it's mixed with love. And I know this sounds really strange, but He gave me His grief over lost souls. It's a grief, but attached is hope, faith, and love. Hope for my son's future. Faith that God is able to raise the dead. Love for the Lord and for His lost children. I stand before you now a different man. Different from who I was only a month ago. I'm not perfected. I'm not without flaws. Or even more yet, for God to heal in my heart. He knows. We don't even know our own hearts. Isn't that something? I'm here today because it seemed pleasing to the Holy Spirit in my heart to mark this occasion with a rededication of my faith, sincere love to Jesus, and a recommitment to Him, to give Him my whole heart. He really did accomplish everything that we need on the cross. In closing, I leave you with these powerful words by the late servant of the Lord, Catherine Kuhlman. She said, "When we surrender, we're not giving up, we're giving in. To a power far greater than our own, we are stepping out of the realm of human limitation and into the realm of divine possibility. You see, God cannot fully move in a life that is still trying to control everything. He will not force His way in. He waits until we're ready to release our grip, to trust Him completely. And the moment that we do this, His power is unleashed in ways we could never imagine. To God be all the glory, great things He's done."